Episode 69. Yeah, 69.
We did it. We made it.
We had a 2-week hiatus because I was working on a show, but with so many people were distraught. They were upset. You know they were. You know how bummed they were. What'd you get?
Yeah.
600-700 calls?
Yeah, I mean, like everybody was just like, "Are you okay? Like, no podcast this week. What's going on?"
Yeah, absolutely. That's insane. But we're back. We're ready. Here we are. We both have giant faces. We're excited. Today, Hannah has good internet.
Yay.
What's been going on, dude? What have you been up to for 2 weeks?
Well, I'm honestly just been working a lot.
Yeah.
Been hanging out with some friends.
Does that mean dudes? Are there new dudes in the picture?
No, they're just like my regular schmegular guy friends.
Okay.
But there was like a whole situation that went down the other night that I can
situation.
Yeah. Do you want me to get into it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one guy, he had just broke things off with this girl, and then
Let's give her a name.
Okay, Sarah.
He broke things off with Sarah.
He broke
what's
things
his name?
His name, let's call him Devin.
Devin breaks it off with Sarah.
Yes, Devin breaks it off with Sarah. And I really liked her. She was sweet, whatever. I hung out with her a few times. Then he meets this new girl. Let's call her Kim. Okay,
sure.
He meets this new girl, Kim, and she's like complete opposite of Sarah, like very like aggressive personality and very like sassy and like, I'm gonna call you out on some shit. And so I met her the other night, and I feel like I can handle a lot of people's different personalities and energies, right? So I feel like she could tell that I could handle her personality, because maybe a lot of people can't, she's got a very particular type of energy.
Sure.
And then, but Devin was like, yeah, like, I love the sassiness. Like, I love the toxicness of this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, is this maybe why you broke things off with Sarah? Because she's just sweet and innocent and doesn't have that feistiness to her. And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, interesting. Because originally he was just like, I just don't want to be in a relationship. And I'm like trying to like encourage him, be like, yeah, like it's fine, like you don't need to be in a relationship, whatever. But now I'm like, oh no, you just wanted somebody different. Anyways, so this girl like really likes me. She's like trying to befriend me, right? Was
the
like
sassy one?
The sassy one, Kim. Yeah. So she's like trying to like text me to hang out, all these things. And then Devin is like, do you not think it's weird that she's trying to hang out with you when you guys just met? Like, I don't even know where me and her stand yet, if we're just friends or if this is actually going somewhere. It was like clear they liked each other, but like nothing had happened. And like to me, she kept playing it off that like she wasn't into him, but I'm a girl, I'm not dumb. I know she's into him. Anyways, so then I was like, I can back off and let you guys figure it out. Like, it's whatever. And then he texted me the other night and he's like, yo, block this girl. Like, she's crazy, yada, yada, like going on and on. I'm like, whoa, like what happened? So then he calls me and he's like, she left me at the bar and like wouldn't tell me what was wrong. And I guess apparently someone at the bar was like making her feel uncomfortable. And I guess she thinks that Devin wasn't doing enough to like stick up for her. I don't know. I wasn't there, but
was it a guy or was it a girl?
It was a guy, but Devin knows the guy, and he's like, oh, he was just drunk. He was just like trying to be funny. He wasn't being creepy or weird or anything. He was just like trying to make jokes, and I guess she didn't like the jokes that he was saying. I don't know. Anyway, so then yesterday when I was with Devin he was getting some tattoos, and I just came along for the ride, and she just like kept calling him. And then she was like, she kept calling him, and sorry, my mind just went so blank. Then she was like, can you like please set aside a time and like talk to me? Like my car just got hit. And I was like, what does she expect you to do about that? Like, what are you, a mechanic? Like, what are you gonna do for her? And then she kept trying to call him, and then finally she sent like some long text, and she was like, I left the bar last night because I was feeling uncomfortable and like you weren't doing enough to stick up for me, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, basically like cut it off with him. And he was like, no, like things were cut off last night at 10 p.m. when you left me stranded at the bar. And I was just like, ooh, the tea.
So this is okay. So all right. Well, that leads into our first topic.
Yes.
Have you ever been have you been out with a guy who has been at a bar where there was a fight between him and another dude? Have you ever been like or around? Have you ever been with your group of dudes where they're at a bar and they fight? Are dudes fighting? Is that attractive to you or any of your friends?
It's not attractive whatsoever.
None.
None. I mean, it's like, okay, cool. You can stick up for yourself, but it's like, I mean, I just really don't believe in violence at
Okay.
all. I just think it's dumb. Hello, we have words. We can use words. Why do we need to
Right.
like show how much stronger you are than somebody else? I don't know. I just think it's stupid.
So that's not impressive. So like, let's say you're at a bar with, we'll call them Devin or Sarah or whoever, and all of a sudden some guy's being drunk and inappropriate and saying stuff to you like, "Oh, is pink your original hair color? Is that Neapolitan ice cream on top of your head? What's going on? Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry?" And eventually you're like, you're up to here with it. You're over it. And
I
then
mean, look, I think if there's a certain time and place maybe for somebody to be like, okay, like back the fuck off, but still I don't think like why do we need to start throwing punches? I don't know.
so we were at a this was interesting. So a couple weeks ago, I was at a bar during the day with
Mm-hmm.
my buddy Scott and my buddy Josh, and
Yeah.
there was this, and we were at this table, and there was this woman speaking to this man, and he was Scottish or something, but he was definitely he'd been drinking for I don't know 2 years straight. He was not sober,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he starts screaming at this woman, and he's just like, "You don't fucking know me. You don't, how dare." And he's just like finger pointing. So my friend
Yeah.
Scott immediately jumps up and goes over and stands next to this woman. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's admirable because I'm not getting punched in the face from someone who I've never met before. And I
Yeah.
don't know the situation. I don't know what actually the conversation, what's going on. So then all of a sudden Scott goes over there and this guy kind of shoves Scott. And he's like, "Get away from me, dude. Don't fucking touch me." The don't touch me thing. And so Scott kind of like calms the situation down. And the guy leaves. Then this woman comes over and sits next to us.
Oh, you've told this story before.
I thought so in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, sorry. But hey, your mind went blank. I did an old guy thing, but I was thinking at the moment, I was just like, I totally get why this guy was trying to scream at this girl.
Yeah. I mean, I like Purse Stumper was like very violent
Sure.
to like
Did he scare you?
yeah, I mean, I've seen him beat up multiple people. And
Shut
I'm
up.
like, yeah,
You've seen him physically fight other people in your presence.
yes.
No.
Yeah. And
And
I was just like, why would you do that? Like, why? There was one time he got so mad at me because granted there was like this guy who was following this girl and we could kind of tell that he was like being weird to this girl who was just trying to walk home. So we like stopped the car and he was like, "Is that guy making you feel uncomfortable?" And she was like, "Yeah, kinda." And so then Per Stumper got out of the car and like was chasing this guy around, like
fuck.
trying to like track him down to like beat his ass. And I had to walk this poor girl to her front door. And so then we like couldn't find where the guy went. So then we're like driving around this neighborhood and then he like sees this guy like sitting on the porch of his house. So then Per Stumper goes up to the porch of this guy's house and just like beats his ass right there. And I was like, what the fuck? And then he was mad at me because I wouldn't throw a water bottle at this guy's head. And I was like, "I'm sorry." Like, no, I'm not. No. Like, yeah, I don't know.
There's a woman who's she used to be a UFC ring girl. Her name's Brittany Palmer, and very pretty. She's an artist. I follow her on whatever, but you can just tell that she's trouble. You can just
Yeah.
tell like her ex-husband's in jail for murder or something, and
Yeah.
like she always hangs out with dudes who are like shirt off. Like some women love when dudes fight.
Yeah. I mean, I could see like the enticing fight-ness of it where it's like, yeah, that's hot. He can
Really?
fight. But I mean, I could see where someone thinks that, but I don't.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just
Same.
like, why are we going to war with other like none of that, no violence makes sense to me at all. I get it if it's like for sport, but even still,
Sure.
I'm like, why are we punching people for fun? Why
Yeah.
are we doing that?
No, I mean, the war thing makes sense because it's extremely profitable. It's like so many people make so
Yeah.
much money. That makes sense. But it's very sad, very tragic. All right. So, guys in bar fights, not attractive. I
No.
agree. I don't ever want to get punched. When I used to wait tables back in the day, actually, it wasn't, no, it was when I was at the Den. I was like, I saw these two guys, this guy shoved this guy, and this other guy squares up to this other guy.
Hmm.
And the guy he squared up to goes, boom, and smashed his nose, just broke his fucking nose. And I was like,
Oh,
oh my God, that's why I would never.
oh no, no, yeah, no. I mean, we'll see. And here's the thing: like, I'm a very feisty girl.
I know, I get it.
If someone pisses me off, like but I have to bite my tongue. Like, I have to purposely try to not put myself in situations where I could come after somebody because I don't trust myself that I wouldn't seriously hurt somebody if someone pissed me off enough.
You'd fight, have you fought a woman before?
No.
Would you get all hair pulley and just fucking go bananas if someone pushed you to that point?
Yeah, I mean, there was one time this girl was all up in my face and was like trying to fight me, and I had to pretend like she didn't exist and laugh it off because I was like, I swear to God, if I get involved, like game over. You're done for.
Yeah, I don't like. I never participate. Like I studied martial arts a long time ago, and like Krav Maga and all this stuff. But not because I'm like I wanted to. I was just like I just want to be able to defend myself in any sort of
Yeah.
situation. One time I was at a bar. I was at the Den. This again back when I would go to the bar all the time. I didn't go to a lot of places. It's close to my place, so I could walk there. And I was in there, and all of a sudden, this dude comes running in because I guess I was talking to a woman he liked, and he
Yeah.
starts pounding me in the back of the head. And I literally just covered my head up, and the entire time I'm like, "What are you doing, dude? What's going on?
Like, hello.
Yeah, what's this
Yeah.
about?"
I don't want to put myself in that situation because I don't believe in it and I
Yeah,
don't think other people should. I think it's dumb.
it's easy to avoid.
Very.
Very easy to avoid. Okay. That said, if Purse Dumper is listening, I've never followed Hannah home once. I don't like when water bottles are thrown at me. I trust your plight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wait, no, you're gonna be so disappointed.
Oh
Um,
no. What did you do?
I was gonna say, speaking of purse dumper,
Uh-huh.
when you texted me the other night, I was maybe in his presence, and he was like, "Why is some guy named Chris texting you at midnight?" And I was like, "It's my podcast co-host," and he's like, "That's weird. Why is someone texting you at midnight?" I'm like, "Bro, why are you acting like I can control when people text me?"
Right.
And yeah, anyways, then we ended things again for the millionth time. So
Wait a second. You were back with Purse Dumper again? What is wrong? You said I asked you. It's been 2 weeks, and I was like, "Has there been anything going on?" And you guys know, just a trick. And Purse Dumper, you put me in a violent scenario where Purse Dumper could come fight me. And when like
no.
I think that wasn't our text thread uh what time do you want to do it on Wednesday, or was it like, oh, I pretended I was behind you?
No, it was when you said, wow, our podcast got so many views. We're so great.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so sexual.
I literally was like, he's like, what did he say? And I was like, he said our podcast is doing great. And he's like, why is some guy texting you? Bro, I cannot text him. I mean, I cannot control when people text me, nor does it matter. I don't
Yeah.
care who's texting me when.
Yeah, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, jealousy's fun. Um, it just is. It's like because you could find yourself in a situation to be angry about anything.
Yeah.
Why is some other person talking to you about something completely unrelated to me? Also, Purse Dumper, if you're listening, that is not an impression of your voice in any way whatsoever. We're good. All right, so there was a lot of gold in that topic. A lot of violence. You hang out with dudes who fight. Oh my God. So wait, that's so funny that I was like, is it attractive to you when guys fight? And yet you were with a guy who does that.
Look, I think when you've been manipulated for so long and you get really lonely and there's familiarity within somebody.
Familiarity?
Yes, that word. I
Isn't
think
it
it's
familiarity?
familiarity,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
I think sometimes unfortunately, it's so hard to get rid of somebody who manipulates you into staying.
Right.
Because then the second that I walk away, he's like, you don't love me if you never hear from me ever again. Like, I'm going to hurt just threatening all kinds of things. And I'm like,
It's such a strange thing. Like, have you ever been in a situation in your life where someone has said to you, and this has nothing to do with your current situation, that will never end, um, uh, allegedly, when someone has ever said to you, you're going to regret this. Have you ever regretted it?
no.
No. No,
But I can tell you, I've told many guys that and they have regretted it.
of course. Well, that's because you're a delight, Hannah, and everybody knows it. All right. Do you have? I have a couple of friends who are in affairs, like
Okay.
with married people,
Yeah.
dating married people.
I don't know anyone like, well, okay, there was this girl from work who said she matched with this guy on Hinge. And she was like, I don't know if I should go on this date. And I was like, why not? Like, you've been saying you wanted to go on a date with like a new guy. She's like, yeah, but he's married and they're in an open relationship. And she's like, I just feel really weird about that. But then she did end up going on the date and she was like, it was okay. And she's like, I don't know if like I'll see him again. She's like, I don't know how I would be able to deal with like the fact that this person's married. Cause she's like, what if I end up really liking him? Then it's just weird. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't.
I don't like my friend who will remain nameless. Um, is like he's with a woman who lives in another state, who's married, who's in an open relationship. I guess they don't have sex anymore. She has children, and he's on the phone with her constantly, and he's like talking to her, and he's like, "I love you, I miss you." And whenever she comes into town, they fool around, and that's
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, "Friend, you're a fuck boy. Like you're literally like."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Nope, you don't understand." I'm like, "I kind of understand."
You're like, no, I think I get it.
I
I
think
mean, I could see how like sneaking around and could be like kind of like hot, but I just think it would get like messy. Okay, well, not that this person was ever married, but I was one time in a relationship with a guy who was like kind of in an open relationship, and it was kind of the other girl was like fully around, and it was kind of fun to have to sneak around her and like be like very coy about it. But at the same time, then I got sick of it, and I was like, okay, you clearly don't want to be with this girl because you're inviting me over in front of her face. You need to break things off with her or else I'm out. And I ended up leaving because guess what? They're still together. So
sure. Now, do you ever? Okay, do you ever want to get married?
yes and no. I think like it'd be great to find my person and be like, yeah, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with you. But like, do I want to have a traditional wedding where I walk down an aisle? And no, I think I want to. If it gets to the point where I'm like, okay, let's get married, I want to elope and then just like throw a big like dinner party and a big crazy party. But I don't want to do anything. I don't want to dress. I don't want none of that shit.
Okay, that's a wedding. I'm talking about marriage. I'm not asking your plans for your party. I'm just
Okay, well,
saying.
maybe you wanted to know.
Yeah. What I assume I'll be there. I would hope. I would hope.
Yeah, of course.
My question is why? But like based on, I'm just going to use data from
Okay.
every time you and I've spoken for I don't know as long as we've known each other.
Okay.
You've constantly said my motivational factor is I really want to find my person, then I'll really fly. I'm really tired of being alone and lonely. I really wish I could be with somebody who I like and care about. Data, those are your words, all your words. So
Okay.
then I say, do you want to ever get married? And you're like, not a traditional wedding, bro. There's got to be like a fucking slip and slide. We're going to go through like an Elvis drive through, and that's all there is to it.
Well, a slip and slide would be honestly so fun at a little party.
That would be pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
it's just like all of a sudden there's two sides to the groom and the bride side, and all of a sudden it's like dun dun dun, dun and she just trucks. and she just slides into.
Down the slip and slide. That's honestly a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, so you do ultimately want to find your person.
Yeah, but and like as much as I keep telling myself like I'd love to find them right now, and obviously I know purse dumper isn't it. Like, look, if some other guy were to approach me at a bar right now, I'd be like, take me on a date, you know?
Mhm.
Like I'm not tied down to this situation, nor do I want to be in this situation. It's just a fucking manipulation thing.
Will you speak to Purse Dumper today?
No.
Are you positive?
Yes.
Okay. Is he
And
blocked on your phone?
no. Because that's when he starts showing up to my house.
Oh, that's the worst. Okay.
That's why I'm like, I need to move. I need to
Hmm.
get out of my house.
Yeah.
But oh, what I was saying was as much as I'm like, yeah, I want to find somebody, I also think I need to like deal with my own problems by myself before I'm like, let me dump all my baggage on you.
Right. So you want to fix yourself before you start wrecking someone else.
Ideally,
That's good. That's
but it
good.
doesn't always happen that way.
So you would rather be in a series. So like you would rather not be with just one person. You would rather spread your seeds
Well,
all
no,
over.
I don't know. I can't. We'll see. This is where it gets tricky. I can't ever like date multiple people at one time.
So you can't sleep with more than one person at once.
Absolutely not. It makes me feel
Okay.
icky.
So icky, the ick.
Yeah.
Okay. But wouldn't you rather, okay. You wouldn't rather, I'm just trying to process. So you wouldn't rather just find one person who you really get along with, who helps you and motivates you.
Well, I do,
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
but like not yet.
Well, obviously, it's not going to happen today.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it will now that we said that. When you go get your matcha, maybe you'll meet Superman and everything will be super.
The love of
Man,
my life is waiting for me.
yeah. Want to know a really funny joke that I wrote today?
What?
I've never been in a threesome, but I've been with some threes.
Bum.
Yeah, that's a great joke.
You've never had a threesome?
I have.
Okay, yeah, same.
Yeah, but it's like, and was your, what was your, was it two girls and a
It was
guy?
no, it's two guys.
Two guys.
And
You're
you know
like,
what? Every guy that I'm like kind of seeing that I tell that to is like, ew. And I'm like, wait, so you can have a threesome with two girls, but I can't with two guys?
when did you had more than one threesome?
It was twice.
Same group?
Yeah.
So do they really like each other and they were just using you as an
Well,
excuse?
okay, here's the weird thing. They were cousins, so
Was this in Virginia?
that was here.
What? When? Give me an
20,
ETA.
2018.
Like when you first moved in here, when you first moved to California?
Yeah, I was friends with this like group of kind of like influencers in a way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they were just like a very ancestral group. Like, I mean, I slept with every guy in that friend group.
Yikes. Good for you. Was that when you got the mid 3 times or 4 times?
No, shockingly.
Damn.
Didn't get anything from them. So
Okay, so when you had the threesome, you're
yeah.
like, were you like, okay, it's cool. Like, didn't you feel like, were they both paying attention to you? Was it like everyone's playing whack-a-mole? Like, what's going on? What was the dynamic?
Um, I don't know. I feel like we were all just like pretty drunk and we were like, oh, this is so funny. Like, look at what we're doing. I don't know. And then, God, this is so terrible. There's definitely a Polaroid of me floating around somewhere from that night. And I'm like, good Lord.
Oh, no.
But I honestly can't remember too well. Like if I would hope they weren't paying attention to each other. They were related.
Yeah, that's bizarre. All right. Well, I mean, hey, we all do what we do. I mean, I've had two myself, and it was one was an older woman, younger woman situation, and
Yeah,
that was unique
that
because
sounds
like
very interesting.
no, it was like it wasn't older. Like I mean, this was a minute ago. The older woman was sort of like teaching the younger woman,
Okay, yeah,
and the younger woman kind of looked pretty scared.
yeah.
She's like, "What did I get myself into? These drugs seem to have worn off." And the other one was a roommate situation where it was like,
Mhm.
"Oh well, we're not going to live together anymore. Let's just get drunk and see what happens." And let me tell you, I've never been more happy to move out of a place ever. And after that,
Yeah, my roommate and I at the time, because we were both hooking up with two guys from that friend group. So one time we like went to go sleep over at their house, and then we all slept in the same bed together, and we were each hooking up with a guy like we were like literally in bed next to each other while we're like hooking up with.
Hooking up with the guy that you liked, or did you guys just swap?
Well, they tried to swap, and we were like, no,
Hmm.
absolutely not.
That makes sense. Did you ever watch the TV show Friends?
Not really. I can't get into sitcoms like that.
Okay. So there's this scene where Ross is talking to Joey, and he's like, oh, I just had a threesome. And Joey goes, oh, that's so hot. He goes, yeah, it's pretty hot. He was like, really? Did you like it? And he goes, well, my part was over pretty quick. And he goes, then what'd you do? He goes, I made a sandwich. I just made a sandwich and hung out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this got dark. All right. I love it. Okay. So cool. All right. We started off talking about, this is like a toxically fun podcast. We start off talking about people getting in fights over women. Next thing you know, everybody's sleeping with everybody. This is crazy. We're learning so much about each other, Hannah. This is delightful.
I've got a lot of dirty laundry, so.
Hey, I think it's cool as fuck that you're open and you talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, why not?
It's great. Okay, so you said you were getting tattoos recently?
I wasn't. I went with my friend yesterday to get a tattoo, and the kid doing the tattoos, he's like 21, right?
Mm-hmm.
And has only been living in LA for 6 months, has somehow found his way into this friend group of like other 21-year-old influencers who go to like crazy events and they think they're the shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how like everyone from 21 to 27 is like the same age. And he's like, once you're past 27, you're like old. And I was like, oh, I'm old. Okay. And then they just kept like talking about the way they interact with girls and how it's like so fun to lead a girl on and break their heart. And I was like, you guys are terrible. Like, I can't believe I'm listening to this. I feel like they were like kind of chopping it up, like being more over exaggerating what they're saying because I'm in the room, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'm like, is this how you guys think that you have like a different girl of the week and then like hope to God you don't run into the person, but like, oh, that girl should know her place, even though I was leading her. Like, I just the things they were saying were fucking wild. And then at one point, the kid who was tattooing my friend, he was like, are you two dating? And I was like, no, like we were just talking about how he's hooking up with another girl. Like, no, of course we're not dating. And then he's like, wait, he's like, how old are you? And I was like, I'm 28. And he was like, whoa. He's like, maybe 30 isn't that bad after all. I was like, wow. Wow. Thank you so much.
That was the weirdest non-compliment compliment ever.
Yeah, I was like, fuck off.
Right. That's funny. So tell me how the date goes with the 21-year-old. I can't wait to hear about it.
Well, no, because I mean, he doesn't know that I know his friend, but like I know what's going on with like different cliques in LA, right? So did I ever tell you about the 21-year-old kid who like I hung out with maybe 2 or 3 times that I met at Barney's?
No.
We never really did anything. I slept over at his house a few times. We like made out, and that was literally it. Because I was like,
you had to be quiet in case you woke up his mom.
No, because I was like, A, this kid just got out of a relationship. I'm not trying to be in this mess. B, like as a female, once you sleep with someone, it's like, I don't know, you somehow like get attached to this person, even if you don't really have feelings for them. It's just, I don't know, it's a hormonal fucking thing. Anyways, and I was like, I cannot be getting myself attached to a 21-year-old. Absolutely the fuck not. So I never literally did anything but kiss the fucking man. But this kid and he wanted to, so like he's like was trying so hard, and I was like, no, sorry. Anyways, he's friends with the kid that was just tattooing yesterday, and I wanted to be like, little do you know, your friend was very into me, but I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh man, that's just every time I think, do I want to go out to the bar? I just think I'll talk to Hannah on Wednesday, and I'll be fine. It'll be totally fine.
Yeah, no, I haven't been out that much. The only reason why I was at Barney's the other day was because my friend wanted to go play pool. Well, okay.
First off, let's tell everybody what happened. I, in the middle of the day, texted you, you look nice today.
Yeah.
And you were like, wait, where are you? And I said, turn around. And then even better yet, like 1 minute later, I go, no, the other way.
I was so confused because I'm like, it wouldn't surprise me. You've told me multiple times that you go to Barney's during the
I
day.
do.
So I was like, this wouldn't shock me. I'm like,
Right.
where is he?
Right.
And I did look nice that day. But yeah, then I was like so confused. But I mean, I really haven't been out in like probably like a month or so. But I was only at Barney's during the day because my two friends love to play pool. They're like obsessed with it. So sometimes they'll go to Barney's at like 11 in the morning, which was the case that day. They were there from 11 in the morning to 6 p.m. So I went to go pick them up because they were fucked up, and that's why I was there.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead. So what were we talking about? You were saying something else
Was
before
I?
we got into it. I said, let's talk. You said I was at Barney's. I said, let's talk about what really happened that day. I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. You were picking up your friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to go with that.
That was it.
Okay. All right. You said Barney's was burnt, though.
Yeah. I mean, it's it got like really weird for a second because I guess some incident happened there where they're like being sued because they weren't like really checking IDs at the door. So now they have to have like this big like professional ID scanner, and they have like a new security guard, whatever. It's a whole thing. So I can't cut the line anymore. My privileges have been revoked. But I feel like it started to like pick back up recently because some of the people from Love Island have started to go to Barney's, and everybody's obsessed with Love Island right now. So everybody's like, "Oh my God, Barney's is alive again," and I'm like,
So you're going, what nights are you going? What are the cool nights?
The cool nights are like Wednesdays and sometimes Sundays. Sometimes Sundays can be slow though, but usually Wednesdays is the day to go.
So you're going tonight?
Probably not because I work and I have to wake up early for a hair appointment. So,
Oh, you're getting your hair done. Is that another $700?
I think like 500.
Damn, girl.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it next week, though.
I mean, it'll be this. I'm just getting my roots redone, but I can't like. Usually, I let my roots grow out a lot longer. But since I'm going to this girl who works at a salon now, if I let my roots go for too long, they charge me way more. So I'm like, okay, fine.
All
I'll get
right.
them done now.
All right. Well, let's rapid fire the rest. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll do this. Just two things. Okay.
Oh, quick before we get into rapid fire, when you're like, what have you been up to the last 2 weeks? Whatever. Okay, so you know, I've been talking about how I have like PCOS and just a lot of health issues and things going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've got very like terrible body dysmorphia and like eating issues, whatever. It's a whole thing. But I'm going to the doctor on Friday, and I've got like a 5-page list of things I've got to tell this freaking lady about. B, I was like, okay, let me cut absolutely everything out of my diet. So I'm like, no sugar, no carbs, no dairy, no gluten. Like I'm literally eating like meat or sometimes vegan meat because sometimes meat still freaks me out. And then like veggies and yogurt. And that's literally all I'm eating. And it's made such a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I'm like, but what was it? What of those different things that I cut out was like the factor, or like, do I just need to stay off of all these fun foods for the rest of my life?
Does that mean that there's going to be shots of your giant stomach window coming soon because you've got confidence?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Looking forward to that. Just in case you're not sure, this is how it looks when I react. Scroll. Whoa, girl. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Also, I'll tell you, if we're talking health stuff, my blood pressure is normal
Was it high?
forever, like the longest time. But like I started doing like 35 minutes a day of yoga.
Yeah.
And eating a bunch of walnuts because apparently that helps also, and almonds. And it's like fucking normal. It's like, I'm so happy. Also, Michigan people, October 11th, Friday, Wildwood Amphitheater. It's my first theater. Come out. If you go on Orion.events, I think, tickets, there's a discount code, Newberg 20. Check it out. Come to the show. It's my only Michigan appearance this year. Check it out. All right, you ready to rapid fire, girl?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Channing Tatum once bought a year's worth of T-shirts to avoid doing laundry. Good idea, bad idea.
Honestly, so me, because I have so many clothes in my closet that it takes me so long to go through them before I'm like, yeah, I need to do laundry. So like I get it.
When I toured with this guy, he was a security guard when we were on the road in Asia. He would buy new underwear every day and then just throw it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm not fucking doing laundry in Asia. So Channing Tatum, good, smart. How's sadness and depression?
Well, I feel like because I've kind of been like trying to tackle like some of my health on my own, it's doing a bit better. I'm still obviously like, a little sad girl, but I feel like a lot of like my body image plays a big part and like how my energy levels play such a big part into like how I'm feeling. And I feel like because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of starting to like the way I look again. My energy's a little bit better. I don't feel like I need to fall asleep every time after I eat. It's like, picking back up a little bit.
That's great. Let's see, have you been working on any music?
No,
Did
not
you
really.
write words to that song, dummy?
I know.
I want to play. We should do. I want to do a show again.
I know. Well, okay, so my friend that passed away last year, it was just like her 1 year anniversary a few like days or a week ago. But her boyfriend had moved back home to Rhode Island, and he's the guy that I like usually work on all my music with. And he called me like a few weeks ago, and we were just like, I don't know, going on a long like vent session to each other. And I was like saying how like, I've been very depressed and blah, 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 the whole 9 yards. And he's like, look, he's like, honestly, he's like, focus on yourself for the next like month or so. Cause I think he's moving back in like a few weeks. So he was like, focus on yourself for the next month. And then he's like, and then when I get back, we can really start working on things. But he's like, don't stress about like not being where you want to be in like the next month.
Sure.
So I'm kind of just like, okay, let me like focus on getting healthy so that I can be like, yeah, okay, let me be in the right mindset to make music.
Awesome. Have you showered?
Yeah.
Nice. Would you sleep with someone just because they're famous?
Well,
Again.
um,
All right. I'm just going to take that. I'm going to consider
okay,
that
well,
answer.
okay. Have I told you who it was?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, me and this is
Who was it?
me and Lil Xan used to have a thing.
Who?
Lil Xan, exactly. He was like a SoundCloud rapper.
Lil Xan?
Yeah. If you look him up, you're gonna be like, girl, you need help.
I bet. I'm sure. We'll talk about that next week. Okay, so yes. And I said famous, not cloud
Well,
rapper.
okay. Back in like 2018, he was dating like Noah Cyrus. He had like,
Oh, I know who this guy's got writing all over his face.
yeah.
Girl. Okay.
But he did try again. Like he like seriously tried to date me in like last October, and I was like, been there, done that, baby. Sorry.
Damn.
I'm like, I still love you though, but no.
All right. Well, that's plenty for today. Great stuff. Tell everybody the things that they're supposed to do.
Listen to this wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment. What do you want to hear from us next? Or if you find us on Instagram or Facebook, let us know.
Do we have an Instagram? Should we do an Instagram? There's no real point, is there?
No, I don't know.
No,
But I'm saying I feel like your Instagram is linked to it. No?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, good stuff. So bye, everybody. See you next week for episode 70.
Whoa. Done.